At this point, would you buy the i600 scanner?
This third question is very elaborate, and you can sense how much consideration he has put into buying a new scanner. Due to his budget constraint, he has narrowed it down between buying either the Medit i600 or the Shining AR3. Since I've been a long-time user of Medit, so I may have some bias, but I sincerely want to give him advice that will genuinely help with his decision. So today, let's talk about whether purchasing the i600 at this point in time is still worth it. He brings up some potential pros and cons regarding purchasing a Medit scanner. One of the pros he mentioned includes an active Facebook community for Medit users, which I couldn't agree more with. His main concern was that buying a slightly older model may not produce the best result. We can compare this situation to buying an older iPhone model. Personally, I don't like buying the latest iPhone. I would rather buy an iPhone from 2 years ago because I believe that is the most cost effective. By the same logic, I would also buy the i600 model for scanning even at the present time. Chen, what do you think about purchasing the i600 at this point in time?
For simple cases, the i600 is the perfect scanner because it works very quickly. But because I like the newest things, I would buy the i900 personally.
But that's because I assign all of complex cases to you. Maybe that's why the i900 serves you better. Since the majority of our implant treatment involve single or twin cases, the i600 is perfect for these scanning jobs. And models crown treatment, which are very common, are also easily scanned by i600. So, I believe the i600 is still very useful today in handling of most of your cases. Today, we'll take a look at some actual footage of us using the i600 at our clinic. Hopefully, this will give you some idea of what it's capable of. Let's watch the solution video.
i600 is Medit's most budget-friendly model in their entire scanner lineup. Although this was released 2 years ago, to this day it is still best entry-level model scanner that money can buy. Have ever you played the Monopoly board game? This game teaches us to make efficient investments because we have a limited amount of money to start off with. You can't buy everything you land on. Rather, you have to be selective in the properties you buy. One of the best strategies to win this game is to buy the cheaper properties in order to have a solid foundation. The exact same concept can be applied to digital dentistry, whereby the i600 is that lower cost property that we can build a foundation on. Then let's start by looking at the specification of the i600. We can see that there are obvious specification differences in the comparison chart provided by Medit. However, how does this translate to its performance compared to other models? The biggest difference between i600 and the other models is that its frame speed is limited to 35 FPS, which means we might expect to see more choppy images with the i600. But from my experience, this has never been a problem. The quality from scanning with the i600 has always been more than sufficient. Although the i600 doesn't offer an HD scan mode, this would not impact the accuracy of the final prosthesis. What's more is that i600 can operate with a lower spec computer, because its lower frame rate means a lower computer hardware demand. We can pair it with an entry-level gaming laptop available for under $1,000 USD. In Dr. Zhang's clinic, the i600 is used for pre-scanning for when patients first visit the clinic. You may wonder why the i900 is not used in the initial meeting, since first impressions are important. This is because the i600 does its job very well in a very timely manner. Medit claims that it can complete a full arch pre-scan in just 3 minutes. Let's verify this claim through Chen's scanning video. You can see that Chen's scanning technique flows very naturally. Because the scan is completed so quickly and so smoothly, the result we obtain can be immediately used to consult the patient. In that context, the i600 is used not just as a backup scanner, but it excels as the lead-off runner of Dr. Zhang's clinic. Dr. Zhang has employed the i600 to take of all the basic tasks, but when it is needed, the i600 can also handle whatever we ask it to do. Since the i600 has every feature built into it, except for the HD scan mode, which is not necessary for implant scans, it can handle essentially all implant scanning cases. The number one use of scanner is perhaps for scanning single or two-unit implant cases. In both circumstances, having a high-resolution scan is not important at all whether we scan bodies or prosthetic abutments. Because utilizing Medit's powerful AI matching function will allow for you to finish your scan job within seconds regardless of what model you use, the i600 is able to complete a scan job as quickly as the latest model. Using the i600 is like using an iPhone model a few years back. It is still a very capable smartphone and continues to receive software updates to keep it running optimally. So, Mediti's commitment to provide updates for all scanners is what gives i600 a competitive advantage over other scanners from other companies. In one of our earlier sessions, we explored whether the HD scan mode is necessary when scanning Model-S crown. Our answer was HD scan mode would help us obtain a higher resolution scan, but without the HD scan mode, we can still get an accurate prosthesis that falls in line within our clinical acceptance. So we can still confidently use the i600 scanner for Model-S crown. You may wonder if you can achieve satisfactory results if the scanner is in the hands of a less experienced user. So this time, we will show you a case where the scan was performed by someone with less than a year of experience, not by scan expert Chen. This is a relatively hard case because the number 46 tooth has sub-gingival margin, but she was able to finish the scan job in under 3 minutes. After that, although the scan result was not as clear as what Chen would produce, our in-house technician was immediately able to confirm that the margin was distinguishable, meaning the quality of the i600 scan was sufficient. So any of you can obtain qualifying Model-S crown scans with the i600 if you follow basic scanning techniques. One of our users wanted to know why Dr. Zhang thinks the i600 is superior to the Aoral scan 3 of Shining 3D. Dr. Zhang mentioned that he already has an Aoral 3 demo unit, but he no longer uses it and it has been collecting dust. So another user wanted to Dr. Zhang to compare and contrast the i600 with the Aoral 3. Let's watch an Aoral 3 scanning video done by Chen. It looks very photorealistic, but Chen got annoyed because she feels that there is a noticeable lag period between her movements and what is displayed on the screen. It seems the scan program is doing some sort of processing in order to enhance the image before displaying it. This was from our experience with using an Aoral 3, and perhaps your experience may differ. But Dr. Zhang is willing to trust his scan expert when she tells him that the i600 is much more responsive during scanning. This is what matters in scanning, not window dressing the results. With respect to the features of the Shining 3Days software, they have recently introduced their version of AI matching, a feature that was already available a few years ago in Medit software. It is safe to assume that Medit has a well-developed software program that contains so many useful features. This is a major strength that has swayed Dr. Zhang towards using Medity scanners over other competitors, like how iPhone users stick to using iPhones over long periods of time. To summarize this answer, the i600 scanner is an excellent performing scanner for its cost. One of our users labeled the i600 as a beast, and we believe it will continue to be because of future software updates. So if you want to start digital dentistry, but you have some budget constraints, the i600 is a must-buy. This concludes question number 3.